My name is Daniel, a hobbyist who collects antiques from flea markets scattered throughout the suburbs. On a gloomy Sunday morning, I stopped by a flea market near the old quarter, which was rumored to have been a demolished cemetery. The market was not crowded, only a few vendors spread out their tarps on the sidewalk, surrounded by dust and the musty smell of time. A small stall caught my attention. On the old, faded cloth were all sorts of strange objects: rusty pocket watches, ivory, combs, and especially a porcelain doll with big, round blue eyes. It had curly reddish-brown hair and a tattered lace dress, with cracks extending from the corners of its mouth to its temples like an unhealed scar. Despite its age, its eyes seemed to pierce through me, deep and cold. I bent down to pick it up, the dust peeling off to reveal pale porcelain skin underneath. I don't know why I felt drawn to it. The seller was a wrinkled old woman, wearing a torn conical hat, her voice hoarse like the wind whistling in an old cellar. She didn't say a price, just stared at me and nodded slightly. I asked the doll's name, and she answered simply, "Emily." I was about to bargain, but the old woman raised her hand to stop me and whispered, "Don't leave it in the bedroom, especially at night." That sentence sent a chill down my spine, but I just smiled. There was no such thing as superstition in modern times. When I got home, I wiped the dust off the doll and placed it on the bookshelf in the living room next to the other antiques. That night, I turned on some classical jazz, read a book as usual, and went to bed. Around 3 a.m., I woke up. In the darkness, I saw something at the end of the bed. I turned on the nightlight. Emily was sitting there, the doll. Her blue porcelain eyes looked straight at me, her head tilted slightly, her hands placed neatly on her skirt. I was startled, but tried to calm down. Maybe I picked it up and forgot to put it back, or someone was naughty. But I was alone in this house. I put it back on the shelf, then carefully locked the living room door. The next night, I woke up again to what sounded like very light footsteps. When I opened my eyes, Emily was there again, this time sitting closer, only a few inches away. My heart was pounding, goosebumps all over my body. I no longer thought it was a coincidence. I decided to put it in a locked wooden box, then put it in the storage room. But the next morning, the box was wide open, the lock broken as if something had broken it very hard. The doll was back at my bedside, as if it had never been there. I started to panic. I looked it up online. There were thousands of stories of haunted dolls all over the world. Each story had something in common: fixed eyes, sudden appearances, strange dreams, and death. The more I read, the more chills I felt. I couldn't sleep anymore. Every time I closed my eyes, I felt someone staring at me from the foot of my bed. One night, I tried to stay awake all night. At 2:58, I heard a sound like fingernails lightly scratching the door. Then a giggle like a child's voice rang out. I rushed to turn on the lights all over the house, but saw nothing. Emily was still there, sitting silently under the doll's feet. There was an old piece of paper folded into 3, on which was written in a slanted, scribbled handwriting, "Don't leave her alone at night." My story began from there, and I gradually understood that what I brought back from the flea market was not just an antique. It was a spirit, imprisoned and trying to find a way back. Everything was just beginning. The most terrifying things were still ahead. Please watch episode 2, The Locker and the First Nightmare.